Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and in this video we're going to be analyzing Mario and Luigi Partners in Time boss ranking that I have done. And basically, I'm going to be kind of refining that ranking, because I don't completely stand with that ranking as much as I did before. Now, unlike the area ranking analysis, I think a lot of it is going to stay the same, but some of it will definitely change. So, other than that, don't forget to subscribe to the Shroobiod Don't Die, and let's get started. Number 13, or the dishonorable mention, was Shroob. And the reason why I'm saying it's a dishonorable mention was because when I was working on this video, I completely forgot about Shroob, and it was too late into the video just to actually put it number 13, because number 12... I actually said was the worst boss in this game, but I didn't want to just re-edit that stuff. It would have been really irritating and annoying. So, I put it as a dishonorable mention, and I still completely agree with every single reason I saw in the video. But, just not to repeat myself, check out the video, it will be linked in the description below, to actually see my reasons why I really dislike Shroob. But then I thought to myself, which boss is worse between Shroob and Giant Bowser from Dream Team? And I think between the two of those, Shroob is a better boss, and not by much. But to be honest, the reason why is because Shroob isn't infuriating to get past. It's really easy. It's just really disappointing. But for Giant Bowser, it took so long for me to get past. So that's definitely why it's worse, because it's actually annoying, where this boss, it's annoying that it's in the game, but it's not annoying to actually fight. And that's why it's not the worst boss in my opinion, but it's still not a good boss. Number 12 was Kamek, and I'd say that I agree with putting Kamek at number 12, and I still think that the reasons that I said in the video still apply. I just think that I explained my reasons in that video horribly. First things first, this boss is so easy, and I was actually fine with that with bosses like Swiggler and the Elite Hammer Bros, but for Kamek, it's too late into the game to have a really easy boss. That's the point about it. All you have to do is use a Smash Egg when he does copies, and then use a Cannonballer. That's all you have to do. And he has so little HP that you could probably take him out in 3 turns or less, if you're lucky. But honestly, this boss is so easy, and the attacks are just so easy to dodge. They heal you if you actually do the attacks correctly. This boss is so undeniably easy, and that's the reason why it was number 12. It's not bad that it's easy, but it's definitely just not a fun fight to do. That's the thing about it. It's not a fun fight. Number 11 was the Elite Hammer Bros. And I still agree with the Elite Hammer Bros being number 11. But the thing about the Elite Hammer Bros that I really do like is it's actually a decently hard first boss. And the reason I say this is you only have the babies with you, which obviously aren't as powerful or as durable as the bros, which makes this boss a little bit harder than it should be, but it's not annoyingly hard, and that's what I actually like about this boss. The boss doesn't have any annoying attacks, it's pretty easy to tell what it's gonna do, so I still think it's an easy boss, but they made it as hard as they could without actually making it difficult for being a first boss. So I actually do like this boss more than I did before when I made this video. Number 10 is Swiggler,
this is a great
and
start
I'm
for the
actually
top
moving
10.
Swiggler to number 8.
Like the other two bosses that we talked about, are very easy, but it makes sense because this is the actual
is a
first
decently
boss.
difficult
So,
boss
I guess
if you
it's
don't know the
acceptable,
concept.
But since you have Cannonballers, it makes
you
this boss
can't really
super
tell what the
easy.
concept of
you
it
don't even have
is
to go through
right
the
when you go
concept
into
of the boss
It's not really
to beat him.
easy to
Speaking
tell
of the concept,
to actually
I am on a
knock
roll
the
with
poison
these
mushrooms
segues.
into
the
the drink.
concept
So it's
is
a
amazing
really
about
good
this
concept,
boss.
and I did praise
Best
it in the
part
video,
about
but I
it
don't think I actually took it into consideration as much as I actually should have.
Their poison
This is
mushroom
not
into
a super easy boss.
Swiggler's
Now,
drink. He drinks it
Cannonballers
up,
are...
and then they become very weak.
I'm
but
very glad that they're
it
here,
gets
but
you
the thing
if you
is
do
that
the mushroom that makes the
use them
Shroops
when
grow big,
sick.
then it actually heals
And
the
that's
boss,
the thing
which
about
is very
it.
bad. And if you don't put
And
anything,
I
then
think
it
that
just
this
has
is
an
getting
attack
higher because the two bosses that got lower than this, I think I got a little bit more of a negative opinion. Or my opinion
this is a great start
on
for
them,
the top 10.
and
Swiggler,
my opinion on
like the other two
Swiggler
bosses that we talked about, are very easy.
I think that's probably
but
what
it makes
is.
sense because this is the
Number 9 was Mrs. Thwomp, and I'm actually keeping Mrs. Thwomp at the same place. Originally, Mrs. Thwomp was going to be number 10, but I actually think it's better than the boss that's the new number 10. And the reason why is because I do like that Mrs. Thwomp is Kamek done right. And I actually said this in the video. The reason why it's Kamek done right is because each of the rocks, when she actually splits off, is... well, it has its own HP, where Kamek just has clones that basically only have 1 HP, which is definitely disappointing, and it's really easy to find the real one. And the trade-off for this is, well, you know exactly which one is the real one because they look different. And I think that's not a bad thing, because if you really just want to get this boss over with, you can just instantly copy flower the only clone that actually looks like Mrs. Thwomp. And I'll be honest, the clones look really stupid and kind of funny. So there's a little bit of charm in the boss, as well as the attacks are kind of nice. You do get free bros items, which I like. But I don't think that this is a great boss. I think that it's worse than Swiggler because it doesn't have a unique concept. Again, Kamek did this. So that's definitely why it's under Swiggler now. Number 10, well, the new number 10 is Petey Piranha. So Petey Piranha was originally number 8, but now I'm putting it at number 10. Basically, Swiggler and Petey Piranha switch spots. And the reason for that is because, well, it's just such a disappointing boss. You're gonna just get so excited that you're finally fighting a Mario character that doesn't really get a ton of mention, but this is all the boss is. All that really happens is, well, if you attack him enough, then he goes into the ground, and then you can't jump on him. So you have to use either green shells or just other stuff, and that's it. That's all it is. Just, he goes into the ground and you can't use trampolines or pocket chomps. That's really boring and just underwhelming for such, not an iconic character, but a character that we barely ever see. And we just get this as a boss. That's why it's the new number 10. Number 7 is the Shroobiod Brat. And I originally was going to switch it because I thought, like, oh, this is just such a unique boss that he just uses the crowd to attack. But I realized that the rest of the bosses that we haven't talked about yet are actually really good bosses. So I think that it's gonna stay at number 7. The thing about this boss is that it just has such unique attacks. We got it using the crowd for fire flowers. We got it trying to see which bro it would actually throw its lollipop at. And it's actually kind of hard to see which one is which. That's the thing about this. This boss is unique, but it doesn't really have a unique concept other than that. It's just a generic boss that you do fight on Koopaceum's stage, which I do like because everyone's really just cheering on the enemy, which is kind of interesting. But other than that, this boss is... it's okay. I think, other than the unique attacks, I just think that this boss is okay. Number 6 is the Commander Shroob, and man, that is a sexy looking mustache. And speaking about sexy looking mustaches, this is the origin. This is the actual origin of the sexy mustache meme on this channel. And I really like the meme. It's probably my second favorite next to Thick Yoshi. And the thing about this boss, okay, let's actually talk about this boss for a second. The reason why it's number 6 is it's not hard enough. Because unlike Bowser and Baby Bowser, it doesn't have that charm that the other boss actually has. The thing that it actually does have is a very unique concept with the bomb. And that's the thing about it. You have to take out the Shroobs that are in the back to actually damage and actually bring out Commander Shroob, which is a very unique concept. It's kind of like the Swiggler concept. It's actually kind of hard to figure out that on your first attempt at this boss. You might be able to sniff it out the first time you do it, like you actually think about it, but it's genuinely hard to find it out. I really like that. The thing about it, though, that doesn't put it higher is, honestly, the rest of the bosses are just better. I'll be honest, that's the only reason. I think the next bosses are just better than Commander Shroob. Not better than a sexy mustache, but better than him in general. Number 5 is Sunnycide, and Sunnycide is staying right where he or she is. I can't tell what the heck its gender is. We really shouldn't find out, but this is a really good boss, which probably has one of the best concepts in the entire game, where you have to rescue 5 Yoshis and then push a chain chomp ball onto Sunnycide to actually knock him over so you can use cannonballers. I already said in the boss ranking why this is such a good concept, and honestly, I actually explained it pretty well, so I don't have to explain it here. But the thing is, this boss resists your most powerful attacks, which is why it does so well with its concept, because if you don't actually do the concept, you're probably doing like maybe 10 damage at most a turn. So it's a really good concept, and it's actually kind of difficult for where you actually are in the game. That's why I really like this boss, and there's really not much to it. Number 4 is the Bowser Duo, and this boss is fun. That's it. This boss is really fun to fight, and I think it surrounds that Baby Bowser is a medic, and these attacks are somewhat difficult to dodge, which that's really it. That's the only reason it's number 4, but honestly, those reasons are amazing, and that's why it's number 4. Only reason. That's why it's number 4. That's it. Number 3 was the Elder Shrooboid, and I am moving the Elder Shrooboid to number 2. I honestly think the second phase is really unique and actually really stressful, and it deserves to be higher than Princess Shroob, which obviously is going to be the boss that's probably going to be the new number 3. The thing about this boss is it grows huge, it gets all of its HP back, and also it nullifies you from using attacks like the Copy Flower and Trampoline, which means you can't actually use some of your most damaging attacks, which makes this boss harder and more fun, because you get to use some of the attacks that you don't use that often. Obviously, you use Mixed Flower a ton, but stuff like the Red Shell you don't really use that often. So I'm glad that you get to use an item like that, as well as the dodges are really hard to pull off. They're really hard. Some of them, just to knock the ship to get more time, is definitely more difficult, and yeah, it makes the boss more fun. That's the main thing about it. Kind of like the Bowser Duo. Because of the timer, this boss is really fun. Number 2 was Princess Shroob, and I'm moving Princess Shroob to number 3.
I really
and you
hope
may
it
be
isn't.
wondering why.
This boss
is it because I don't like my sister?
It's easy, which is a problem, but it's not super easy.
Let's not talk about that.
So it's not a bad thing.
The reason
problem
why
is that the concept
we're
with
moving
the chair
Princess Shroob to number
is so
3 is
easy
because
to get around. Just use a trampoline or a
this boss
Copy
is
Flower,
somewhat
and then it's
generic
gone.
when she gets out of her chair.
So that's not great.
It's just
especially
really
because you can beat this
boring.
boss in around like
all
maybe
you have to
3 to 5 turns.
It's just Copy
which
Flowers.
is definitely
There's
disappointing.
nothing really stopping you from
there's
just
2 things
doing
that make up
which
for
makes it
One,
very generic.
It's Princess Shroob.
Stuff like
You're
the Elder
finally
Shroob
fighting
Boy.
her.
We got also
So
the
that's
Commander
pretty
Shroob
nice.
stopping
And
you a
2,
little bit
the
from
attacks
using
are
attacks
very
like that.
difficult to dodge.
Princess
They do a
Shroob
ton of power,
lets you use
and
it.
if
That's
you don't
all
dodge
it is.
them,
Just
kind of like
use
the Star
Copy
Attack,
Flower, or just
if you
use
dodge
Ice
it
Flower
without
to
jump
lower
on
her
it,
defense,
you
and
either
then use
have to
Copy
get
Flower.
hit or
That's
jump
all
on
this
it to
boss
end the
really
attack,
is to me.
or it just
So
goes
that's
on a
why
loop.
it's number 3.
I'm not
It's still
kidding.
a fun
I've had
fight,
that
don't get me
attack go on
wrong,
for around
but
5
it's not as
minutes.
fun as the Elder Shrooboid.
Yeah,
number
I don't
1
know
is
how
Elder Princess
I didn't
Shroob,
jump or
and
even get hit.
it's staying at number 1 because I have an ego. And because it has the hardest difficulty in the game, it has the most unique attacks, and it attacks the most. And I did make a claim that I actually don't agree with anymore, which is that the first phase will get number 1. And I don't agree with that. I personally think that the Elder Shroobiod would get number 1 if we weren't taking the second phase into consideration. But since we are taking the second phase into it, obviously it's number 1. It's really fun, and it's actually really difficult. Even for someone who's played Partners in Time 6 times, I do have a bit of difficulty with this fight. And it's actually fun difficulty, because you get to use all your bros items to a unique extent. As well as, she attacks 3 times if you don't take out the tentacles and the legs, which again makes this boss really difficult. I really like this boss. I'm not sure if it's my favorite boss in any Mario RPG, but it's definitely up there. Thank you guys for watching this video. My next video will be about something. Leave a request in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to the Shroob Don't Die, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.